Hey, it's Blockchain Bernie here, founder of Xandeum. And this is a tough video for me to make because it's about failure. The technology is more challenging than we thought, and we're at a point where we just fail, right? And it's really tough to say. And as you might have guessed, this is not about complete failure of Xandeum as a blockchain or as a company, right? This video is about all the little failures that we all face in our lives and that turn out to be just events of temporary defeat, right? So while this video is not what it's supposed to be or what it looked like, it is still about failure and about failure of some of the failures of Xandeum, of where we're at. And I want to be transparent about those. And it's about failures in life in general. And I will talk about my failures. And I had a lot in my life. And what this all means for Xandeum and where we are right now and what has worked and what hasn't, and where our failures are. And I think that's an important message for you to learn. I mean, I'm just sharing what I feel, what helped me in my life to handle failures. But it's also an act of transparency to show you guys where we're at with Xandeum. And for that reason, please do watch this video all through the end, because there will be a few things where we're actually a little bit behind right now and not making the progress that we hoped for. So if you like things like these and videos like these, please, as always, give me that like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it. And most importantly, don't forget to leave me some comments. They could be encouraging comments. It could be critical comments. It could be just questions that I want to discuss with you. And I want to do this on this YouTube channel as well, not only on Discord where it happens every day, but let's do it directly on YouTube also, because also that helps the YouTube algorithm and it helps YouTube push my content to other people as well, which we all want to make the Xandeum movement push ahead as it has been doing so far. So, failures, right? So, yeah, I've failed a lot. I did not in school, actually. I was an awesome student in high school and then also in university. And my first job after university was with IBM in Germany, and I did great there for like 7 years, but I kind of hit a ceiling in my personal development and what I saw would have been possible for me at IBM. So I joined a telecom startup, which was Otello back in the day. Some of the German audience might have heard of that. And it was later acquired by Vodafone, the telecom giant out there. So I spent a few years with Vodafone there as well. And that was a great experience for me. Out of that kind of failure that I had at IBM, which was not really a failure, but it was more like a cul-de-sac, and there was no development there anymore. The opportunity arose to be one of the early management members at Otello, and that was 4 awesome years where I built my own organization, right? So I was the head of operational support systems, and I was alone, one person. And then I hired about 250 permanent employees and had like about 1,200 external contractors working for my department. Spent 3 figures millions in Otello's money to build all these systems. And that was a great experience back in the day. And there I failed as well, because Otello as a company failed and they got acquired by Vodafone. And Vodafone just wanted to buy out a competitor. They were not up to, getting the skills or the team of Otello, so they basically fired me with a nice severance package back in the day. But it was a big failure. It was the first time in my life that I got fired or laid off, I would say, right? I was laid off because, they were laying off like 90% of their team. And I started my first company out of that, which was called Zionet. And I did that for like 10 years, and it was a lot of fun doing that. And 10 years of Zionet, but it ended in a failure also. We had the 2008, 2009 financial crisis that hit us. So I had to close that one down, start something new. I emigrated to the United States, which was one of the best things I ever did in my life. And I was lucky enough to get the green card immediately through the green card lottery, or diversity lottery as it's called. I founded another company here, Ansel, and then just recently started Xandeum. And I've never been that happy in my career with Xandeum, because I feel it's such a good fit with my skill set and what excites me, what I want to work on, and also what has huge opportunity to reward us all, including myself. So it's what's called Ikigai, right? So if you haven't heard of Ikigai, Google that. It's IKI, GAI. It's a Japanese word, and Google that up. Yeah. So Ikigai is great stuff, and I really think I found my Ikigai with Xandeum. So with Xandeum, I mean, we've had some great successes, right? I'm super, super grateful for all the team and the community that we have staying behind me, engaging with us on Discord, engaging with us on Twitter/X, and engaging with us here on YouTube. It could be a little bit more here on YouTube in the comments. So please remember that. Leave me some comments there and ask me questions, not like great content, Bernie, or something, but engage me in a discussion. I want to discuss with you right here in the comments about, Xandeum, what it is, how to handle failures, and what failures did you have in life. Just write me down in the comments and let us know how you handled it. Would you do it differently now in hindsight? Would you have reacted differently to your failures that you had, or was it okay? And did they turn out to be the greatest opportunities for you as well? So, yeah, and one of the failures was driven by the FTX collapse, obviously, and the collapse in Sol price and all these things, and that means we just descended into a crypto winter that we're still in. We might be at the beginning of getting out of it, but we're still in that crypto winter. So that means the fundraising from the community was a great thing, and I'm super, super thankful for that. But it seems like right now it's not the path forward to raise like the 10 or 15 million that we seek to raise in order to make our mainnet really happen and make it a great product and conquer the world with that, because we're changing the world in a major way, right? From Bitcoin to Ethereum, it was going from dumb blockchain that is only money but no code, right? And then Ethereum added the code layer, right? But what is a code layer without a storage layer? Code and storage go together on each and every computer. When you write some code, you access storage, right? And if you want to do that on current blockchains, it's going to cost you a fortune, right? So here's my other video about storage costs, right, on Solana and on Ethereum and stuff like that. So we're solving that problem, and it's as much of a leap as it was from Bitcoin to Ethereum. The leap from Ethereum and other L1s, L2s towards having a storage layer in Xandeum, that's at least as big of a leap, right? And we are doing that right now, and I couldn't be more proud of spending my time with that. I wouldn't know of anything else I would love to spend my time with. And it is really my ikigai. And yeah, there were failures, right? So after the FTX collapse, it was so much harder for us to raise more money through node sales from the community because just the market kind of collapsed, right? And now we use that to actually build. We use the time to build. We are working to raise the funds that we need from venture capital companies. That's taking a lot of time from my end and from the rest of the management team to create the right slides for investors and have the investor deck and talk to them and fly there, talk to them in person. It's a short flight from Las Vegas to Silicon Valley, and not all of them are in Silicon Valley. There's important VCs in the blockchain space that are all over the place, and one of the largest ones in Texas, which is also not that far from here, obviously. And yeah, but that was a little failure, and we didn't throw the towel and said, okay, that's it, but we just found other ways, right? And we do have technical challenges also. So as you all know, I traveled to India to talk to our dev team and do the design for the whole solution, right? It was technically challenging to build Node Store. So the Solana dApp that helps sell our nodes and have that ascending pricing model, have an affiliate program built in, and all of that, it is quite challenging. And part of why it's challenging is that Solana doesn't have a scalable storage layer, so we had to kind of split some sort of the history of who bought nodes when and how much are they entitled to harvest and stuff like that. We had to split that in several pieces of storage because the maximum is 8 megabytes on Solana, and we had to pack it all to really compress it, because if it's like a few megabytes, or if we go into gigabytes or something, it would cost hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to store that all on Solana. So that's a big problem, and that's the problem we're solving with building the scalable storage layer. So. And yeah, there's failure everywhere. The design of the new solution and to dive into the Solana validator code, it's taking longer than we thought, but we're getting there, right? So again, there's no despair or anything. And the ICO was something, or IDO, listing the token somewhere. That's something that we thought we wanted to do by the end of this year. But the market conditions haven't lightened up, right? And all the advice that we're getting from people that have done it before, they are telling us, it's not the right time to do. It costs a lot of money to create that amount of buzz so that we really have some trading volume of that token, right? That would be a huge investment. And we don't know if we'll get it back when, selling the token on an exchange. And so that's why that's kind of delayed until we don't know when, right? Until market conditions are better. And definitely the way forward for us is raising money from VCs, and that will put us in the right category, right? It's usually the best startups that can raise money from VCs, and they have the wherewithal and the team and the quality of the idea to actually convince venture capital firms. Those are the best startups, right? And that's our path forward. We're building our investor deck as we speak and hammering out our strategy on how to raise venture capital. And I'm super excited about that, even though it wasn't meant like that from day one, right? So I had some videos where I told you, hey, we're not going venture capital. We want to do it all from the community. But, what we got from the community is not the amount that takes us to mainnet where we want to be, right? And that's just because of the market conditions, right? And yeah, there's so many failures, and one of the most important things is like, don't blame, right? Don't blame or complain, right? I mean, there's been issues with some members of our community where there was a clash with me personally as the founder, and and some of those guys, and things escalated somehow, and and you can always say like, well, that guy, he did it to me, right? And that's kind of human, right? But in the end, I'd have to say, well, it was me, right? I created this community. I talked to these people. I put the message out, and maybe I wasn't clear enough at some point in time, or maybe I didn't, pay enough attention to their feelings or how they feel after they've, spent money to buy nodes, or, it's just me, and it is what it is, and now we can only do what we can do. But those were small events, right? The all over the community, and we're almost like 1,100 members in our Discord now, which is just awesome. And just almost everyone is absolutely in sync with what we are doing, and I really love that. So what does that all mean? It just means, we're on a good track. We even have a prototype of the GUI on how the Zand miner, so the the piece of software that will be running on the storage nodes, how it looks like. We've sent that out in an email. So if you're not on our email list, go to Xandeum.com, link in the description. It's just spelled out here, Xandeum.com. And on the top right corner, you can subscribe to our email list. And if you haven't done that, please do that. And you'll get our updates there. And, the latest email contains the the screenshots on how the Zand miner looks like. We feel that's great progress. We're building our demo app, right, to showcase what does Xandeum make possible that wasn't possible before with other blockchains, right? And our demo app is going to be Xandipedia. So that's a fully decentralized version of Wikipedia. And Wikipedia, only the text content is like 200 gigabytes. You cannot store that on any of the existing L1 or L2 blockchains, because just storage is so expensive, and they don't have a scalable storage layer. So we're adding that, and we're making that possible. And the intent of the demo app is just that other startups, other people that think about starting some Web3 company, they see, oh, this is now possible, right? We can now do something like Xandipedia, or something like a fully decentralized Airbnb, or something like a fully decentralized eBay, right? So, yeah, and this is how we handle failures in our life. And the best thing is not call them failures, call them temporary defeat, because each and every of these events is just temporary, right? In the end, it's all going to be good. And if it's not good, it's not the end yet, right? So that's the kind of attitude that we all want to have. And of course, sometimes in life, you need to have the wisdom to really stop and pivot and do something else. I'm far from any of that in Xandeum, and I doubt I will ever have, because it's my ikigai. It has that potential to absolutely change the world, and front run or be the first mover in a whole space of scalable storage layers that are going to change the world. So yeah, I love all that. And for now, thanks so much for watching, and catch you guys later. Bye.